I had a lot of time to sort of like think like, wow, this is like, I can't believe I'm going to win the Leadville 100. I don't know. I didn't really like process it while I was doing it. So yeah, I finished it. Yeah, and it was life-changing. Like they say, Leadville is life-changing. Like that's one of the races slogan. Yeah. And definitely for me, it was probably more life-changing than for most.
What happens next?
Yeah, I was an amateur going into it.
Right.
And I started getting brands reaching out to me. I hired an agent because I realized that I had no idea what I was worth. And if this brand is offering me this, maybe there's better opportunities out there. Started doing podcasts. My Instagram follower count went up like from just my friends and family. I had fans. Yeah, like overnight success. It's kind of cool.
Was there some aspect? So I spoke with Dakota Lindworm yesterday on the podcast, and she told a similar story. She's a pro marathoner from Minneapolis, and she had a couple of pretty awesome performances. She won, I believe it was Grandma's marathon, and brands came calling, and she was like, all of a sudden I had fans, and all of a sudden this thing I was doing for me is now public.
Yeah.
Was there an aspect of it that you were like, oh shit, this might now be different?
There are like the external like pressures now. Like I run for On, and I want to do well for them because they've put these resources behind me, and like I've had these documentaries made about me, and there's like pressure with that. Like I said at the beginning, like I'm a lifelong runner. I've always put a lot of pressure on my results, even if it's like just because I want to be really good at it. Like with the fans and everything, like I just think it's fun.
Yeah.
I think most of them understand the sport and that you're not going to win every time, and they're going to still, like if you're a good person and they see that you're trying hard, they're still going to sort of be your fan.
But you have one every time.
Yeah, at 100 miles so far.
Are you going back to Leadville this year?
No, I'm doing UTMB.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Yeah. I love the sort of behind the scenes of what it's like to be an athlete. And you have some people who come in and they're like, okay, I ran middle school cross country and I was destined to be a professional runner. And then you have people who found whatever specialty of the sport they're in their 20s or 30s or whatnot. I mean, look at Keira D'Amato, who the resurgence in her mid 30s, and now she's a professional runner. The different ways that people can find their place in the sport is fascinating. So for you, I'm curious what it was like going from, I know you said overnight success, but like it's an overnight success over 10 years or whatever it is. But what has been the most fun aspect of this, like being thrown into the limelight?
Yeah. I think just all the new people that I get to meet. Some of it is like I'm more confident now, but like, if I go somewhere, people like want to run with me. And maybe in the past I wouldn't have like reached out to them, but now I'm like confident in myself, and
Does that carry over into your day-to-day life too?
Yeah, definitely.
How so?
I don't know. I wasn't with my other career. I've never been to like, it's not something that excites me. I'm not passionate about it. It's always been the running that gets me going. And now I sort of have this justification for like, why I was like sacrificing my other like career all these years. I found like a lot of success in running 100 miles at one time. And it's like a weird thing, but it makes me a more confident person.
That's the aspect of running that I think is super valuable, right? Like at its core, running is silly. Like you subject yourself to pain and discomfort, and it's totally optional. You can quit at any time.
Right.
And that sandbox allows us to try stuff and grow and improve and then carry it over into life. I've shared this analogy a million times, but like I work in sales. It's really challenging to go after big numbers. And the only way to go after big numbers is to go after small numbers. and small numbers and small numbers and small numbers. And eventually all of that adds up into something big. You could say the same is true with, how you approach a training block, right? Like when you started running and wanting to do Leadville, you couldn't have done Leadville on that day you decided to do it. But you trained and you trained and you trained and you did a 40 miler and 50 miler and eventually you can do it. And to me, that's the value of running, right? Like all the people we meet, all this and that, and also how it translates into life. I'll stand on that soapbox every day.